cloud. All right, and I'm gonna mute, not myself. All right, well, let's get ready, and feel free to, if unless you're in the car, feel free to just open your toes. So sit on your toes. There's something about opening all the fingers and all the toes. And I don't think this is working, but that's fine. We're still going to go through. Okay. So today, at least in Asia, not in the rest of the world yet, but it's Aphrodite's Goddess Day, and it's also Women's International Day. So happy Women's International Day. And we're going to honor Aphrodite and Venus, which the era is like early 5th century before Christ, at least from in Cyprus. And her color is orange, or the color associated with her is orange. So I suggest any essential oils with orange. Angeli, I have yours here. Thank you so much. Clementine, tangerine, all of those will do. And because orange, I just found out, the color orange is associated with a gentle and positive, nurturing act towards ourselves. And so the color of the last goddess, which is crazy, we celebrated, was Bridget, in honor of my father. And it didn't hit me until like much later how appropriate the connection to my father was, because the color green is connected to the chakra of the heart. So the color orange is related to the second of the 7 chakras. And you don't have to be an expert in any of this. It's just picture it being located between, just 3 fingers under the navel. And it's where the Buddhists call the hara, the center of the being through which we connect with our deepest sense, which is something I'm very curious about, and especially to do it in collective. So this what's it called? The sacral chakra helps us connect with like our passion, our creativity. It's also the womb, but it can be used for more creative acts. And it's also associated with the element of water. And I'm just curious. Okay, sorry about this. All right, so in Roman mythology, Venus is the goddess of love, beauty. I don't know if you can see it, but love, beauty, and desire. And the equivalent, and I didn't find this out until last year, that the equivalent of the Romans in Greece was Aphrodite. So they're both the same goddess, just one is for the Romans, one is for the Greeks. And the Roman Venus had many abilities beyond the Greek Aphrodite, apparently, because she was the goddess of victory, fertility, and even, so this is where it gets funny. Some of the accounts call it prosperity, and some of the accounts call it prostitution. So, I mean, same start with a P, but one clearly, it was definitely in the prostitution act. So both goddesses are the embodiment of passion and love and sexuality. And Aphrodite actually means of foam born, and the legend says that she sprang of her father's Uranus castrated genitals, which were cast into the ocean, and she came out of the foam. Clearly, they had no idea how babies were made back then, and they just assumed that a woman would spring out of genitals of a male. So, good guess. But she is depicted on a clam, as Botticelli's one, and what's interesting is that the Cyprian one, which was the first one ever recorded, is fully clothed and fully round. And even in the Greek mythology and the Roman mythology, like there's this very, motherly figure. They're quite modest. And then as time goes by, it just feels a lot more, let's say, computer generated, with a couple of things are a bit disproportionate. But so I wanted to put the 2 extremes, and I love this one of Helena, depicts Anyways, all I'm trying to say is that real beauty exists not in the external reflection of mirrors, but in the internal recognition of what is true, lasting, and magnificent. So to celebrate International Women's Day, how can we feel that internal recognition and that permission to feel capable or attractive in our own bodies and with our own sexuality? So without further ado, how can we cultivate that inner beauty, that inner love, that sense of experiencing tender romance with ourselves first before we share it with the world outside? So let's dive into what I hope will be an aphrodisiac state. But if not, this yoga sequence is designed to focus on the bladder and on the kidney meridians. That's not as sexy of terms, but that's what we will be focusing on today. So let's, if you can just give me a quick thumbs up, because I don't know how the volume is coming out. Can you hear the music? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Judith. All right. So let's come onto our backs, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. Julie, you can probably do a little bit from the car, I think. We're going to come onto our backs. And again, if you have props, feel free to use them to support yourself. But I'm going to choose not to use any today, or at least for now. And what we're going to do is the double clam. And hold on. Okay. So you're going to come onto your backs, knees apart and arms. So you can put your hands behind your head or above your head. But what we're going to do is with every exhale, you're going to drop your knees and your elbows. And with every inhale, you're going to breathe it in. And go as slowly as your breath. Just connect with your breath, basically. So slow it down if you can. So inhale, knees and elbows together. Exhale, knees and elbows apart. And feel free to channel your inner clam and go at your own speed. Just develop this sense of feeling loved, of feeling secure. Oh. And surrender and just allow yourself to be held by the earth. And when you've had enough of that breathing, just feel free to stay in a position. It can either be a closed clam or an open clam. When you're ready, we're going to come into what I like to call the goddess pose. And so feel free to just come onto your side. And we're just going to lay the way Venus did, which is kind of this one right here. So it's on the reclining chair. Feel free to just open the side so you can come up if you want, or you can just, and then feel free to just do whatever it is, but just explore opening the side. And you can just test where your shoulders are at, where your neck is at. Just try to make it as effortless. These Roman women stayed there for a long time for a sculpture to be made. How could you stay here with the least amount of resistance while opening the side?
Your love is real. You've got the love. 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 Time after time I think, oh Lord, what's the use? Time after time I think it's just no good. Sooner or later in life, the things that love you.
When you're ready, let's try the other side.
You've got the love I need to see me through. You've got the love. You've got the love. You've got the love.
And try exploring just dropping your shoulder, keeping it straight. You're really targeting the side.
You've got the love. 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 Love. Sometimes I feel like throwing my hands up in the air, 'cause I know I can count on you. Sometimes I feel like saying, Lord, I just don't care, 'cause you've got the love I need to see me through.
When you're ready, let's come up and come into a simple squat. So feel free to just explore, just stretching your toes out first. And then if you have the Asian gene and you can come onto your feet. And then just really just drop your head, drop your spine, drop everything. Feel free to explore just moving around your weight so it really covers your entire foot. explore that hara, that center of gravity. Next, when you're ready, we're going to come onto our bellies and we're going to do the rolling cobra. So feel free to come onto your fingertips and just slowly roll shoulders, like as if you were like a crane moving up, and then roll it back down. And you might hear some kinks, just opening up this heart region. And try to emphasize the fingers, opening it up. When you found me, I was all alone. The whole world around me, and nowhere to call home. But I heard your voice sing like heaven's choir. When you found a place that feels right, feel free to come into Sphinx pose and stay there. You can drop your head, look forward, or look up. I'll hold you all through the night. I gave you your name, you gave me back my life. You're the heart of me, oh sweet love of mine. You're the heart of me, oh sweet love of mine. Oh, my darling, sweet love of mine, I'll hold you all through the night. I gave you your name, you gave me back my life. You're the heart of me, oh sweet love of mine. You're the heart of me. Want a little bit of a challenge for the last couple of seconds? Feel free to come into seal pose. You're the heart of me, oh sweet love of mine. And next, we're going to come into a bit more of an Aphrodite child's pose. So I'm going to ask you to explore what's the widest range you can go with your hips. Rather than keeping the knees together, really open it up almost in frog. And then we're going to put one hand on top of the other hand. We're going to cradle our head. So you're putting pressure on your temples and it's holding your head like in a massage. And if it's too much on the hips, feel free to narrow it down because we're going to stay here a little while. And it doesn't matter which hand goes above as long as you've got the massage cradle. Make sure to breathe into the hara or into the hips. Aphrodite, set me free. Find a way to let me leave. As the future it unfolds, I leave the past. When you're ready, let's come onto the other side. Getting a nice side stretch and cradle your head. When you're ready, let's come back up into Dragonfly. So just open your legs. Can be 90 or more, whichever you feel comfortable with. And let's fold forward. Feel free to support your forehead if that's more comfortable, or you can bring your hands back if this feels more comfortable for you today. Just explore.
J'attends que mes larmes viennent. Et quand la plaine ondule, que jamais rien ne m'atteigne. Ce soir-là, on s'est embrassé sans se parler. Autour de nous, le monde aurait pu s'écrouler. Les yeux cernés, des poussières dans les cheveux. Au long de mes jambes, la caresse du feu, pendant que les champs brûlent. J'attends que mes larmes viennent. Et quand la plaine ondule, que jamais rien ne m'atteigne. Pendant que les champs brûlent, j'attends que mes larmes viennent. Et quand la plaine ondule, que jamais rien ne m'atteigne.
And next we're gonna fold one leg in, and you're just gonna fold over. So you can have your knee as close together or as wide apart as you need to. We're just gonna fold over the leg. Feel free to support your head again, or just stay up. And if you have any knee issues, feel free to just bend your knee lightly or put a rolled blanket underneath. But we're targeting this muscle right here.
My coy little smile will defend me a while. So I'll stay with the lakes in my mind. Don't you dare think that here you can hide. We've started to stray, nothing lost anyway. So I'll stay with the lakes in my mind. Now you faded with no traces, so who could ever tell what you've taken's been misplaced? But your name doesn't ring any bells since the day that they took you to hell. I'm just swimming in lakes in my mind, too afraid to get out and deny my coy little smile.
And when you're ready, let's fold back. So you can keep your knee in the same position if it feels all right with you, and just come on your forearms. If it doesn't feel right, then just feel free to come into tree pose and then just explore either staying here or coming all the way down if it feels comfortable to you.
What you've taken's been misplaced, but your name doesn't ring any bells since the day that they took you to hell. What's it like there in I'm glad they left you in stay right down there so I'll stay with the lakes in my mind. Don't you dare think that here you could hide.
When you're ready, let's switch sides. So come up, knee straight out, bend one knee. And again, you can go wherever you want with that knee, just as long as it's comfortable to fold down and you get a stretch in the back of the leg. And if you have any knee issues,
Really
feel
close
free to.
tonight.
Karen, this one's for us. This song is, I mean.
And I feel like I'm moving inside.
It's from the movie Daffodils, filmed in New Zealand. That's just a really pretty
Lying in
movie.
the dark. And I think that I'm beginning to know her.
Let it go.
I'll be there when you call.
Whenever I fall
At
your feet, you let your tears rain down on me.
whenever I touch your slow turning pain.
You're hiding from me now. There's something in the way that you're talking. Words don't sound right,
But I hear them all moving inside you. Go.
I'll be waiting when you call.
So when you're ready, let's fold back, either on elbows or on your back. This is one of my favorite poses but just because it's my edge, I like to drop my knee to the side, but just find your edge for feeling something in the thigh.
Down on me whenever I touch your slow turning pain. The finger of blame has turned upon itself, and I'm more than willing to offer myself. Do you want my presence or need my help? Who knows where that might lead when I fall?
And when you're ready, let's come for either the double, if you can. And again, it can be as wide or as together as you feel. Saddle, and so you just come down onto your elbows and onto the back if it feels comfortable for you. If you have any knee issues or this is just something your body cannot do, then just feet together and let's come back into clam.
All this distance between us, I'm from Mars, you're from Venus. We've been deep in our feelings, saying things we don't mean it. I don't need a prince on a white horse, I don't need a dude with a white Porsche. You just gotta rap when the going gets tough. You be saying things you can take back, I retaliate and you hate that, but I hope that we can overcome this. He said, she said, reset or regret. Don't ride this way, but we'll get seasick. We're somewhere close, but not the end yet. Can you feel it? All this distance between us. You're from Mars, I'm from Venus. We've been deep in our feelings, saying things we don't mean it. All this distance between us. You're from Mars, I'm from Venus. We've been deep in our feelings, saying things we don't mean it. I just gotta fight with a damn shame. We be going flat as champagne, waiting for the calm cause I'm over the storm. All we gotta do with the hard way. Tell me how you feel, don't be blasé. I know the words on the tip of your tongue. Not this. He said, she said, we said a regret. Don't ride this way, or we'll get seasick. We're somewhere close, but not the end yet. Can you feel it? All this distance between us. I'm from Mars, you're from Venus. We've been deep in our feelings, saying things we don't mean it. All this distance between us. I'm from Mars, you're from Venus. We've been deep in our feelings, saying things we don't mean it. Now we've reached a point that we just can't ignore. All this distance between us. You're from Mars, I'm from Venus. We've been deep in our feelings, saying things we don't mean it.
When you're ready, let's come into back up And feel free to fold over your legs, so either out straight or feet together into diamond shape. Up to you, whatever feels comfortable. Just feel free to just make sure that you're lengthening in the heart region before you fold over. You can always have your head supported. When you're ready, let's come into pigeon or swan. And feel free to, you can bend your back leg if it feels right. Just make sure that you get some compression with your thigh. Karen, I know you like air. Just found out that Daft Punk is done and they've only ever made 5 records, which I find so crazy to have so many hits and only 5 albums. When you're ready, slowly make your way to the other side. You can either switch legs or just turn around. I suggest to keep the back leg bent, but do your own. Just make sure you're compressing your twist against your leg. And next, we're going to come into the most expansive twist you can possibly do, which is just, we're always in cramped spaces. So feel free to take up as much space as you can. Feel free to channel we're going to, your legs straight out and your arms straight out. Just make yourself as big, the biggest, oh my gosh, what was that philosopher? I'll come back to me. The French, Da Vinci, the Da Vinci woman. Just make sure there's a twist, but make yourself as big as possible. So really, as if someone was pulling on every single one of your limbs. Hi, Tasha. The head being one of the limbs, so just lengthen it out of the spine and then twist towards the opposite, or look towards the opposite side of where your leg is pointing.
With the stars you wander around, may they follow you wherever you are. Here I am, just
and when experiencing pleasure, the toes kind of do their own thing, so feel free to just pay attention to them, or just spread them out, or just give them a little bit of attention.
I see the galaxies when I look in your eyes, and I can't speak, no, I can't speak at all. I swear to Zeus, you're Aphrodite in disguise. Don't think that you can hide it from me. Oh no, I never thought I'd get this close to someone so divine. Oh, I can't breathe, no, I can't breathe at all. Aphrodite, could you please be mine? Oh, could you please be mine, oh mine?
And let's switch legs. Again, as big and as expansive as you possibly can. So feel a nice twist in your lower, the heart region. Feel free to twist your head towards the opposite of your leg, paying attention to the toes. And if you want the advanced pose, then it's the Mona Lisa smile today, not the Buddha, the Mona Lisa, which is just a tiny smile felt within, hardly visible outside. And I dare you to channel that smile all day in honor of International Women's Day. Then an inversion of your choice. So it can be either grabbing a block or a pillow underneath your hips, legs up. You can put the legs up the wall, 90 degrees. Just suggest you don't use your abs if you can. Just find that balancing point where it's just effortless. Or you can come into shoulder stand or into headstand if it's part of your practice, or into plow. Up to you. And when you lose sensation in your feet, feel free to just bend your knees or to open your legs up wide. Feel free to open your legs. Again, attention on the toes. Feel free to point, flex. If you want to give yourself a big hug. Straightening the spine. You can rock side to side.
See
And finally, let's come into final Shavasana. Feel free to cover yourself with a blanket, something over your eyes. If you enjoyed this class, although everyone here, I'm pretty sure, has either written it up or contributed already, but feel free to make a little donation to our project, Mother Wild. I added the link in the chat. I hope I didn't make a spelling mistake. And just mark your calendars. Well, next March 21st will be honoring Ostara, who is the goddess of spring. Well, and then March 31st, Kuan Yin. And yeah, happy Women's Day. And feel free to eat any aphrodisiac foods or any orange foods, carrots. And wish you a lovely day. Mwah. Stay here as long as you possibly can.